Yes, everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Stephen Howson. This is 5 things that we learned watching United beat Arsenal last night. In at number 1 then, DALOT and Tellez surprise. Good performance from both of those. We saw the team sheet, you looked at that selection, you see DALOT, you see Tellez, you go, Jesus, this is a very offensive fullback pairing from Manchester United. Usually seeing a bit more of an asymmetric sort of lineup where, maybe Wan-Bissaka sits off a little bit, Shaw goes forward. Some people sort of suggesting Shaw's not getting back into this team. Tellez played really well. I didn't think he played that well, but neither fullback certainly was at fault for either of the goals. Good performances from both of them, solid performances. DALOT in particular, maybe given Wan-Bissaka something to think about. I think that there's an opportunity there, probably more so than Tellez with Shaw. But both fullbacks came in and did their jobs and looked quite good going forward. So pretty happy with that. As your complete second choice fullback pairing, I don't think they looked off the pace. I think Ethan Laird could come into this mixer and have something to say about either left or right back, in all honesty. I hope he's not recalled, though, with Rangnick. I hope he's just kept at Swansea to the end of the season where we see what he's going to be all about. But Manchester United have got some options in the fullback area if DALOT can replicate that kind of form. When you get Tellez and you get DALOT, theoretically they're weaker defensively, but they also could be a little bit more offensive. They've both got great delivery, and if you've got someone like Ronaldo in the box, it's a great tool to have at your disposal if you can be defensively solid at the other end. Now, we're obviously not there yet, but maybe that's something that we're going to be looking at being over the next few weeks. In at 2, MCFRED frailties still show. So, there's no surprises here. There's still huge limitations with the partnership of McTominay and with Fred. Last night, we saw both sides of Fred, I thought we saw a really energetic player looking at creating interceptions, winning the ball high up the pitch, putting the opposition under pressure. We even saw him, win a penalty and also play some good final third balls. And then we saw the worst of Fred. Okay, the blame doesn't really lie at his feet for what happened with De Gea. Maybe stop the shot, play at the whistle, and then deal with it. But I think the big one that we saw with Fred and McTominay, because one of them should have picked it up, was the check back for the second goal Arsenal scored. One of those guys got to be there. They just have. You can't defend those areas the way that we do. You've got to get on the ball side of them. You've got to make sure you're stopping the shots. It's far too easy for Odegaard to drift in and find space like that. It's not acceptable. The likes of McTominay, the likes of Fred, they're hard-working players, but hard-working should be, it should be an absolute expectation that you work hard as a Manchester United player, but you're also supposed to bring quality and ability and nous and a range of passing and all these other things to the central midfield area. I don't mind if them two are squad players, but the fact is they're both first choice and have been for some time. Rangnick's going to have a lot of work to cut out to be able to figure out how to either mitigate the lack of quality that we have or bring somebody in or completely mix up who plays in there, because right now I just don't think they're good enough. Too often they start opposition attacks. Too often they make mistakes. And when you get into the big games, I don't agree with everything Mourinho says in his 7 ways to win a football match and whoever has the ball has fear. I completely disagree with that. But he does say the game is won by the team who makes the fewest mistakes. And I definitely believe the game can be won by the team who makes the fewest mistakes. And when you've got the likes of McTominay and Fred in there, they make mistakes. They make mistakes on a very, very regular basis. Like I said, we saw the good and bad of Fred yesterday, but that's every single game with him. You don't get through a game where he's flawless. You don't get through a game where he doesn't drop a clanger. So even the good that he does gets overshadowed by the fact that you can't trust him to not make a mistake anywhere. Like, even when he has a good game, he'll do something mental. And that's the issue with them. When it comes to a crunch game, let's say it's the Champions League final, can you trust him to not balls it up and concede you a goal? Because that's how these games are won and lost. Number 3, Bruno revival. Bruno hasn't scored for United since the 11th of September, and his 100th appearance for the club. He manages to find the back of the net. He's been on the end of some stick because a lot of fans are sort of saying, like, right, okay, so he's not scoring, he's not assisting. What is he actually doing? Valid criticism. As your creator and as someone who's took up this goal-scoring midfield mantle, you kind of have to deliver a lot. He gets a lot of criticism for losing the ball a lot. The most creative players generally do lose the ball more than any other player on the pitch, and they've got to be allowed to. They've got to be allowed to take risks. Imagine a creative midfielder that only did 5-yard passes that were safe and then got it back and then passed it to someone else for 5 yard. It doesn't work like that. They have to try risky passes, and you might say, well, it's too risky sometimes. Okay, well, fine. You go tell Bruno that. Like, I think the career that he's had today and the sheer number of goals and assists that he's provided today in just 100 games has been nothing short of absolutely spectacular. We've had strikers that don't come near to the amount of goal scoring that this guy's had in a United shirt. He's had a tough time of it lately. A lot of people questioning what he's about, and clearly when he's not scoring, the team ain't scoring. And that's why Solskjaer ended up paying for it with his job. We're going to need him on top form for this first 6 or 7 games of the Ralf Rangnick era. United could pick up a real head of steam because there's a lot of winnable games in there. Let's see if Bruno can become that flat track bully again and just start absolutely slicing teams up, providing assists left, right and centre. Because if he does, United are going to be picking up 3 points all over the show. Number 4, Ronaldo's the GOAT. Just come at me. While that little D-Wharf is picking up Ballon d'Ors in Paris, absolutely stinking the place out. You got Ronaldo scoring game-winning goals, putting in performances in the hardest league in the world, as a pensioner in a bang average United side. He just scores goals. Another winning goal yesterday, and it's how many of them have we seen this season? When is he done? If he's a problem, I don't want it solving, Jamie Carragher. How about that? How about anyone worth their salt as a manager loves the Ronaldo conundrum? He scores goals for you. Like, oh no, what am I going to do with that? Oh, he doesn't press. Sound. Not everyone has to tear about the place like Tevez. He didn't press when we had him as a teenager, 21 years old. That wasn't his game. Darren Fletcher, Ji-Sung Park, they knew, hey, you're going to have to do a lot of running because he ain't gonna. But we're all right with that because he's the best player in the world. Fine. And you want him fresh for when the ball comes and to come alive when the ball comes. That's what it's all about. Goals win games, and he scores goals. In fact, he scored 801 of them. And just think about the amount of careers you would need to stack up that. Alan Shearer was a great goal scorer. He didn't get 800 goals. Bruno Fernandes was a great goal scorer. He did not get 800 goals. In fact, I don't know off the top of my head, but I've got a feeling neither of them's got 400 goals. So there's a good chance that he scored more than the entire careers of both Ruud van Nistelrooy and Alan Shearer combined, which is bonkers. Greatest of all time. Absolute legend. Unbelievable player. And finally, Ralf Rangnick has got work to do. Oh my days, does he have work to do? We've shown glimpses in games where we can start to knock it around and we can look good. That third man run Manchester United stuff can be sensational because the movement is there and the ability is there from players. But we are miles away from your Chelsea, Liverpool and City style teams. Now, what I'm expecting Rangnick to do is come and cover up some of those frailties with work rate, pressing, and a bit of a system. And I think he'll probably get 10-15% more out of the team by doing that. But he can't turn mud into diamonds. He ain't going to be like, all right, Rangnick's here now. McTominay and Fred are like Pirlo and Vidal. It ain't going to work like that. He can implement his idea, he can implement your tactics, you can get a little bit more juice from people knowing what they want to do a little bit more, because it sounds like, after listening to what De Gea said, we didn't know that. But he's going to have to find or bring in someone that can actually do the job that he's looking for. There's some talk that he's going to bring people in January, and we're going to spend the next few weeks really looking into exactly who that could be and where they will fit in and improve this United team. But before you go, do you like this? Fuck off, Joe. You lost. How about shut up? I'll read the next question.
Happy Saturday, everyone.
Coconut.
Coconut? What's coconut?
Get it, that was us!
That's cheating!
That was cheating!
On your skin, that's us! That is us!
Where was the fortune cookie invented?
Till the end, we are the champions.
We lost this whole game.
Go! Oh! No! Captain Lee 2! We got 3!
Rob, Aston Villa are still
Right.
terrible. Hey.
Right.
By the way,
Who's laughing now, yeah? Yeah! Who's laughing?
If you do like utter carnage like that, then we are doing a live rundown tomorrow night. It is back, baby, but it is Patreon exclusive. So if you'd like to get in the mix, there's a bit of a community that we're putting together on there. If you'd like to come and watch it, the only way for you to watch it is to join the Patreon group and come and join us live at 9 o'clock tomorrow. We are going to get absolutely sozzled. It's going to be Joe Smith, it's going to be Alex Bagley, and 2 of Janine's pole dancing friends are joining us as well. So if you'd like to come and tune in for that, it's going to be off the fucking charts. Hit the link in the description and I'll see you tomorrow night. Make sure to stock up on the rum because we're going to go right through it. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.